Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Wildermyth. Continuing on from the last episode, I completed the Age of Ostrich storyline. So during this live stream, I will be covering the 5 chapters campaign, which is a sprawling 5-chapter campaign which only has procedural events, no overarching villain story. And if I succeed on this, I'll be able to promote 2 legacy heroes. Now for this difficulty setting, I won't play on Martin mode yet because I don't want to get destroyed. I'll save that for the next campaign. Instead, I'll set the combat difficulty to Martin, while I'll keep the Overland campaign difficulty on Rolling. My main complaint was how easy the combat difficulty was, so hopefully they should fix it. So I'll go with this team. Future Warrior Perio, the Snarky Poet, Future Hunter Jorver, the Snarky Hothead, and Future Mystic Herwin, the Goofish Coward. And I randomized the main enemy faction for this, although we'll be encountering all the other ones along the way. Brigford woke to the Red Song of Chaos, voices bent by fear and rage, panic, pain, flames. Welcome, Jaden. It is like a D&D game, Mr. Lee. Last time I picked a pitchfork. Let's pick a mace this time. A stomp and a dart. Already you can tell the monsters are more challenging. I mean, I can't just one-shot them now. I mean, I can't just two-shot them now. And already Perio's fallen. We're off to a good start already. Hard mode wasn't kidding, and unlike normal mode, well, you can see quickly what happens. That's why I didn't want to play the next campaign on hard mode entirely. At least she pulled through and did a critical hit. He's a Green Horn Warrior, even though he lost his arm, sadly. Infantry reaction strikes looks good. I'll take ambush, it's basically Overwatch. Lord Compulsion. As he's going... well, not him. As Perio is supposed to be my tank, I'll give him that. Everything changed after that day. The heroes of Brigford went on to win great renown. Let's call this group the Raiders of Sealed Light. Here falls the tales of the Raiders of Sealed Light, be remembered. But as this is a 5-chapter campaign and the Drauven are our main villains, I'm not sure if we're going to win this campaign. So chapter 1 of the Aspirant Dragon, clear out all monster control sites and locate the Drauven stronghold at Denlick's Watch and clear it out. While Perio heals up, let's scout these out. Let's quickly go over their stats. Thankfully, he only lost his offhand. It would be much worse if he lost his primary hand. Let's send him to scout over here. On second thought, Send him over here to recruit someone else. Snarky leader, sure. Alternatively, I can pick from my legacy. In fact, let's call Zark here. But I don't have enough LP for this, so instead, I'll just take her as another warrior. Yeah, the papercraft style does remind me a bit of Paper Mario. Although it's less stylized in that game series. We probably need 2 warriors ASAP for tanking. Thankfully, none of these areas are infested, yet. We probably want to gather over here at Broadfront. Let's do some more. I don't want to assault with just 2 novice level heroes. There we go. Okay, now it's Now it's getting infested, so that means I need to assault it ASAP. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I can get ambushed. I probably should have sent my soldiers out of here. They're gonna get maimed. However, I can escape if I so desire, but... let's see if we can pull through with this. The last time I got ambushed, it ended really poorly. Yeah, I remember that, Mr. Lee. He did kind of look like a Jedi. Apparently being in Silk Step ignores armor too. That was a nice dodge there. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I gambled a bit there with that dodge though. I underestimated how powerful Silk Step was during the previous campaign. I'll make sure to use it a lot more during this run. Alright, now let's assault this place. Apparently it's not infested anymore. I got really lucky with this ambush though. There could have been 3 or 4 enemies and then my whole party could have been wiped out. You haven't seen the oddest bunch of enemies yet. we can't really go for this. This is very low. That's a really low success rate, so we'll have to keep the debuff. Oh, uh-oh. Her hair is changing color. Only it didn't. Sometime later, Elmwine will look and find the splinter gone, but a piercing pain will occasionally stitch her chest, as an ancient elmish soul weaves its roots through her heart. Two stumps, one dart. She also starts out with a club, I guess. The oddest enemies I've seen so far are those robots. Or those mechanical enemies. Well, hello there. What I was kind of worried about. How much damage can this stump do to me? Okay, good. I was a bit worried. Walling is also pretty powerful. Same. Once this exits early access, that may probably happen. I'm a bit scared to go over there. Especially because most of my heroes are at really low health. They need to get some levels ASAP. The reason why I set the campaign difficulty to normal is because I don't want this to go at twice the rate. Yeah, I think she really needs the spear more. This area is getting infested too. Well, there are two infested areas. The Ford of Ivysire or Vivlin Gasworks. This should be easier, so let's go for this one. Actually, wait. They need to be healed up more because they're low on health. Even the upgrades the monsters get per calamity are stronger. Alright, now let's assault it. Because if I went directly to assault this place, my heroes wouldn't be back at full health. Perry has been cut. Excuse me. Perry has been rather badly beaten so far, and there were several close calls during the last mission. I gambled too much. We take the penalty, but let's hope it works well against the enemies. Back to the Wokens. Well, he'll get hit too, so that was actually a bad decision. Now I'll be forced to take some damage, which will then kill him off on the next turn. Yeah, the characters do react a lot to my decisions, and each of them have their own unique personalities, which dictate which events will come up, which somewhat dictate which events will appear, as well as how they'll react to them. That may end up working against me though, so I don't want to use it just yet. I need to get better at combat though, because that was another really big mistake that I should have not made there. No, that's not it. I have 3 of them. Maybe a straight line. Sure, let's see if it works. It worked. Probably hit some enemies off screen too. No, it missed it. And now she can get the finishing blow. Never underestimate spears in this game. So Elwyn and Jorver have fallen in love. Didn't expect that to happen, to be honest, but I'm not complaining. Saying the boulder trap was worth it. But now they have horned children. Let's assault this place, and then I'll build this over here. On harder difficulty settings, I'll need to rush towards the enemy bases, so they don't upgrade themselves, so they don't send incursions and upgrade themselves too fast. They could potentially outpace my character's development and completely steamroll me. Nice. Minor support bonus. Back to the Dwarvens. And a water spirit. I don't think I'll be able to catch it though. It's more of a combination of XCOM and D&D, not so much Paper Mario though. I swear though that this game has a 1 RN system, especially with all the misses. That was a lucky gouge there. There's also Bug Fables, which was released a few months ago, which is literally an indie dev's take on the Paper Mario formula. Seems like it's gotten some pretty rave reviews. Can I take a risk for this? I want a tier 1 water bow. What this means is now, if he crits, it'll refund an action point. And +1 to my max damage. Note that the enemy hasn't known. Note that because he's invisible, the enemy doesn't know I'm here. But he does have swords, so I need to be careful. Under Hero, I've heard about that game. Alright, Jorver, finish the job. Never underestimate flanking. Never underestimate flanking either. Oh neat, is that a new hero we can recruit? They came upon us at night. Swooping in like vultures, they killed everyone. My friends, my family. I don't know why I was spared, and I've lost track of time. Perhaps they meant to keep me as a meal or trophy. Yeah, we need more help. We need all the help we can get. Let's see, where is he? Nicholas. He's a mystic. First thing you can do here is build this place. I'll let you and Elman fix this. Never mind. And I'll send the rest of them over there. At this part of the early game, I need to fulfill many of my slots. I need to fill many of these slots if I want a chance of surviving. I could scout ahead, but I need at least 4 members of the team. Now have them gather over here. And let's scout this all as a group and then finish off the remaining enemy forces here. This reminds me of an event that happened during the first campaign. Although this time, the woman driving the cart is much more hostile. I won't reread this because I already read this before. I don't want to end up killing the villagers, so let's try doing it nicely. On a side note, Guacamelee is one of the games that's on my to-play list. The townsfolk shuffle past, up to their homes. Perio, Nicholas, and Herwin break Elman out of her prison. From within the cave, a blue glow grows, and a hungry growl. Welp, this is much more difficult than the first time. Let's go with Humanist. Really? Right over here? Not off to the best start, though. Nice job with the discus. Wait, no, that's not the right one. Where are you? Okay, there you are. I'm gonna have to defend my party members, so let's wall this off. I don't know what that is. It looks like a giant ghost. Oh no, this is going bad. Like so. Welp. Alright, Elwyn. Thank you. I'm surprised we didn't take any damage here, but he needs to pull back now. On the bright side, I can interfuse with the fire. And do Fire Leash. How much damage can each one of them do? 4, 5... and it'll kill him off too. And she's out of moves, so she will take a hit. Yeah, down goes Nicholas. Now his right leg got lost. Well, they weren't kidding when saying... Well, Martin Wood wasn't kidding when he said that a few heroes, little to no heroes would survive unmaimed. And now, regardless of whether Jorver makes this shot, which he does, it will die. Well, he didn't die yet. He survived, but horribly maimed. Wait. Why can't Perio get it? I don't want to get... The only other person who would like to use it would be my hunter. Very well, let's give it to a skinning knife. The Great One is extinguished, reduced to ash, its minions of dead are scattered. Elmwine and the rest make a wary return from this cave in the gully. Dawn climbs onto the distant hills as the old town spokeswoman sheepishly approaches, trailing a young woman with fiery eyes. Yep, this is Wildermyth, YouTube. As the morning stretches, Elmwine and the others head out, refusing to offer to stay in favor of getting on the road. The people here will be strong, believing in the courage of the Raiders of Sealed Light. The lair of the Great One will be overgrown with flowers, a memorial to innocents who died there. The story will ring through generations. So for the price of his leg, we got 3 legacy points. I can already see the difficulty increasing quite rapidly. Thankfully, we don't need to worry about this enemy faction. Elmwine spent a month tracking a golden stag. As she finally raised her weapon for the kill, the stag looked her straight in the eye and laughed. Elmwine smiled back and lowered her arm. Nicholas tried to take Herman shopping at the local outfitters. Perio was acquired by a family of cats for a few seasons. He would watch them stalk birds in the mornings and meditate on cycles of life and death. Repairing the physical damage done to Broadfront wasn't hard, but coaxing the magic back into it required weeks of meditation and spell work from Herwin. Time to upgrade our gear. Let's count. Perio got injured and Nicholas got injured, and there were more than a few close calls. Elmwine was one of the MVPs. So let's move on to the next part. The only way to heal my units is by just passing the time. I haven't seen this game have any healers or healing items. So let's see, what else do we need to do? Clear all the sites and locate this area. Well, because 9 years have passed, well, as there have been several years of peace, they've automatically been healed up to full. Let's dissolve this place first instead of this one. In fact, this is the final in fact, that's probably the final area of this chapter. So this will be the last area. So that'll be the last region I'll attack. Oh, trust me, the way this campaign is shaping up, this will be 2 or 3 generations. Assuming I can even make it to the end. The coolness falls over Elmwine, a silence of 100 winks. By glancing again where the comet passed, she sees the spectrum of possible futures spelled in its snowy trail. The trail dims. Elmwine rubs her palms together. They weren't kidding with... I wasn't expecting this much... I wasn't expecting this much of a difficulty spike. Good thing I didn't pick Martin mode for the Overland campaign. And before I continue, because he lost his foot, he's actually increased his speed by 1, but I can't choose which limb is lost, so it's the luck of the draw. Indeed, Jaden. Some of the new heroes that can join in are actually the next generation characters. Wow, Sharknado. And you got a crit too. I'm not gonna risk it, I'll just wait. Especially as I have essentially melee Overwatch. Yeah. There are essentially 4 difficulty settings: C.S. Lewis, J.K. Rowling, George R.R. Martin, and H.P. Lovecraft, going from easiest to hardest. I'm really afraid how difficult Lovecraft mode is going to be. Oh, that was the last one. And remember, characters can actually use each character can use any weapon in the game regardless of their class, although some classes are better with certain other weapon types. As you saw, with Jorver, I was able to equip him with the spear. Well, one of these areas is going to do an incursion. It's probably going to be into Denlick's March. So, let's send some people over there. I'll leave you over here in order to secure the place. On second thoughts, let's send him there too. We're going to face the incursion head on. See you later, Mr. Lee. Thanks for joining the stream. So now they become rivals. See, I could loop around here, but it's a bit risky. In fact, it's just 8 days. Deepest, Mordecai, Gorgon, or Dwarven. I don't want to deal with this one, so... Oh, they're actually in... Hang on a minute, this area is actually secured. Alright then. Because I'm sending the entire group forwards, they can't get ambushed. If I sent a group of 3 or less, they could have gone ambushed here. Instead, we're going to defend right over there. Whoops. Not good. Survive for 9 turns. Enemies are going to keep showing up from this side. Not too much of a problem as he's a mage. Hopefully there's no back attacks here. Mind you, with incursion defenses, you can break the usual party cap of 5. Still stuck there. Still gonna take it from that. Surprised it worked. We already had a similar situation for the end part of the first campaign, Jaden, once I released the 5th episode. Because this is essentially a survival mission, I guess turtling is a good strategy. I wish I had one more archer though. And because he did a kill while in Wolf Call with that Wolf Call gaining skill, he'll still stay in it. Can two characters interfuse at the same time? The same object? Can two characters interfuse at the same object at the same time? I'm gonna try using this as a defensive wall. For my first incursion defense, this isn't too bad. And now this one should die in the next turn, so the Horned Child will die in this turn. In fact, let's finish it off right now. Well, it will survive for 9 turns or defeat all the enemies. Do I want infantry reaction strikes or counter? I want counter. Classic sword, but really, I don't want any sword users here. Now that that chance is done, let's build a bridge and cross over. I want to take care of the infested areas first and loop around. I can't attack this area at all until all the other ones are down. Poor Nicholas. Hopefully he'll be able to cut the slack for future missions, like he did in the last mission with Firelance repeatedly. More Drauven. I wish I could spawn fires at any time. I know there's a way to do so, but it requires a skill that I don't actually have now. Oh boy, this area is gonna be really packed. Let's invade the left side. Let's open the left side. There are 3 of them. Nice. And we get another action too because it was stunned and he has a water bow. Can't risk that. Oh yeah, same here. Well, now they're coming in every direction. I think there's only one more monster left, so I'm gonna place him over here with Guardian. Get closer to the action. Okay, so I can't interfere with that. And eliminate. What does Storm Send even do? Ouch. Wow, Jover, you're becoming the MVP of Chapter 2. You didn't take any damage at all during this mission. You should be asking that question to our mystics. Once again, Nicholas. Yeah, let's do it. Let's dump the spear. Okay, now that this area is secure... How many LP do I have? I think I need to bring Zarkin into the fold. Superio, please recruit him. Welcome back, Zark. Ah yes, Zark, the romantic leader. Let's hope he survives this adventure. So now you have 3 warriors, 2 mystics, and 1 archer. Not exactly how I would set it up, but it works. But now I have a really competent unit. What's the starting equipment? Kinda starts out with War Scared and he ended off with. But it makes sense, so it doesn't just break the entire game. On the farthest off reaches a friendly field. Wait a minute, 2 of them? Is one of them a time traveler? Or dimensional traveler? Let's talk it out. I wouldn't mind having 2 of them in the party. Keep trying to talk it out. Well, that's nice. That'll probably come in handy in the next generation. I should get them out of here ASAP. Let's continue the assault. I'll get Zark in the next assault. He needs some more levels. Kinda wish this game had more variants of musical tracks. Perhaps this will be resolved in the full release. Go for it. I did a similar kind of event in the past, and it ended up being in my favor. And this time it rolled out of my... And this time this rolled against my favor. Oh. 3 of them already. So far, so good. Now I can wall this off. And I can burn this one to death. I want to get a stone spear for one of my weapons, but I doubt I'll be able to make it in time. The only one who can reach there the fastest is Jorver. I'll wait. Well, let's let it run away. Waste some time there. I will get it. Finish off this one. I'll let someone else finish it off. Finish off the slinger. And finish off the horn child. But it's not over yet because that's still there. Bye, Stone Spirit. It's too risky to go for you. Now that that's settled, let's send Zark over here too. Then we'll assault this final location. Welcome to stream, Quick Smasher EXE, glad you could make it. It is an interesting title, although it is in early access, so take that in mind. I'll save Zark for the next chapter. It's kind of too risky for this point, and I do want 2 mystics. Actually, you know what, we don't really need 2 mystics. Let's go with 3 warriors, 1 archer, and 1 mystic. See if that goes in our favor this time. I find 2 mystics for the most part to be... they feel a bit redundant outside of certain scenarios. Not until one of them can spawn in new terrain, like fire plant life on demand. Well, there's still awful chances. This is more like XCOM, YouTube, not really Fire Emblem. The group sizes are much smaller. So how the stories play out, and the fact that this game has its own equivalent of support conversations, it is sort of like Fire Emblem in that way. And somehow, the dice rolled in my favor. This is it. The final battle of Chapter 2. Well, at least we had XCOM 2, which was semi-recent. I mean, this game is heavily based on the recent XCOM games. Look at how the combat system works out, for example. I know they're coming into the doors now, so I'm gonna start walling things off. What? Silk Step didn't work? It is 2D papercraft, although it's not as stylized as Paper Mario. Put a shark trap over there. Go on, Guardian. There's only one archer, so this should work. I love stacking Overwatches. Sadly, she can't get through because... well, she can because of this. Let's waste another turn of the dart. I could also just drag it closer to me, but I didn't want to send it so it could just harm my mage. Alright, M1, take your revenge. You too, Zark. Yeah, I was hoping for something better, but better than nothing. It was alright, it's only 50%. But by doing that, he immediately reacts to it. The protagonist of this game is our band of adventurers. Our goal is to figure out what the Drauven are doing and why they're attacking our cities. Every campaign's storyline is different. The first two campaigns do have an overarching storyline, but the other ones are procedure generated. And that ends Chapter 2. 11 more years of peace. Still, the enemies are piling up in terms of strength. Power noticed that the library at Borwell had fallen to disrepair during all the conflict, so she passed the summer helping to rebuild it. Nicholas went back to the place he grew up and was tempted by old acquaintances to remain there, But in the end, the past proved an unwise place to linger. Perio added a new addition to his house. He put a sturdy table at the center of it and always found excuses to have friends for dinner. Elmwind was visited once by a man cloaked in ivy. The spirit laid out 3 features for Elmwind to pick from. After careful deliberation, one was finally picked. It's up to us to choose how many chapters this game has. For this campaign is 5. Jorvar is clearly the MVP of this, so he needs a better bow. Clouds sail on the wind. Seasons roll over each other. Time breathes a slow breath. And no peace but death can last forever. All monster groups will draw an extra monster card now. Alright, objectives: eliminate all the sites, locate Dagon's Spire. As you can see, compared with the first campaign, the world map is notably bigger. And it's expanded on the opposite side of the world too. Here's a quick rundown of my character stats, by the way. I'll eventually have to get over here as quickly as possible before it gets taken over. So we still have Zark, Nicholas. Note their ages though. Zark is still in his late 30s, early 40s, but Nicholas is in his 60s, and our other characters are in their 40s. Oh, wait a minute, a support conversation. Teens in Cloverpass are drunk or sleeping. The last greasy lights wobble in quiet windows, at least mostly quiet. The merry stumbler scrapes along the back alley, fragments of foamy song falling after, fading into early dew. The night doesn't slosh so easily in every belly. Let's go together. With Elmwind too. Alright, minor detour, why not? Support combos are always nice in this game. So now they've arrived. Over generations, a modest compound has grown near Morvidelve. Some folks have come here to gain wisdom and strength, while others grew up inside its protection. It's a place of relative seclusion, inhabited by a great order of knights focused on peacefully honing their bodies and minds to work in concert. Without another word, she turns and leads them down a hill path, darkened and dappled by a sun-treaded cloud cover, into a sparsely tree field, rolling green strewn land marked by low gentle walls. Over the next week, they train, eat, and sleep on a schedule. Kessa's style is... I want more health and speed, so let's do grueling and relentless. It's a week full of anvil lifts, table hops, and hog dodging. Sunset approaches on their final day of training. Kess leads them into the closeness of a nearby wood. The resinous air sparkles, she halts. Well, more heroin than Jorvar. Time for a random encounter. Out of a sudden shadowy knot of smoke comes an ambush. Not too bad. I mean, we have M-Wire just as backup. This would be a lot more dangerous if I didn't have any warriors. Perfect, you can be the first one to fall. Followed by you, Horn Child. Or not. I understand the risks. Come on, you can do this shot. Easy ambush. And it's probably just another test. Oh wow, I wish I could store this in a convoy of sorts because I was just gonna hire another archer. So I'm gonna have to salvage this. The ostensibly dead cultists rise sheepishly to their feet and tug off their disguises. Oh, that explains why it was easier. Yeah, it was an easy test. What would happen if you failed it though? Would there be a chance for each of our characters to die? Or get maimed? In that case, this training is more brutal than I expected. They leave the woods, a small silent procession. Bidding their instructor farewell, they embark on a journey across the night. They walk long enough that all the stars have sprouted. Mist takes form, but they keep marching to the verge of dawn. Of course, they've gone stronger, but now because of that, they've leveled up. There's only 2 of them there, so I need to send them back. The day is calm. The scouting mission has discovered nothing dangerous. Having outdistanced his companions, Zark sits alone to rest. Does he sleep, dream, is a vision a metaphor, or does a tortoise truly come and speak to him? Ah, we've seen this before in the previous campaign. I won't reread this though because, well, we already had this. How coincidental it happened to Zark. And before it happens again during the next campaign. I'll take the pendant and plus 15 block though. Need more hides. Sure, another opportunity. Sometimes Elwyn would dig. A hobby is what it was, for a naturally skeptical heart, an expression of willing curiosity. Aren't those 2 lovers, if I recall correctly? Alright, let's get out of that. Now let's go for the recruitment. Why can't they go? Oh, I need more LP. Rats. know, if I can do that, I'll have 2 warriors. Let me wait for that to be done. So for building the bridge, I'll let Zark deal with this. I'll let Zark and Nicholas deal with this. Meanwhile, for the assault, I'll send everyone else. On a track of a band of enemies, our intrepid party races through the woods. Smaller party size, but we should be able to pull through. The raiders of Seal Light rush out to put out the flames. Rush to put out the flames. Royzod, are you another party member? A potential party member, I mean. Let's do it. Let's hunt some poachers first. We'll get some extra money. And in fact, there are more Drauven. I wish in the final version there's a way to speed up the animations. Really? I'm gonna take a risk and go for it. That didn't work out. Didn't attack anyone? And going for my warrior. That's a poor tactical decision on your part. The rest of the enemy should be in here. Well, that's an ambush. We're gonna have to draw them out. This is too many indoors. And now she can get a clear strike in. Let's take the risk. Apparently Lover's Vengeance lasts until the end of the battle. Very straightforward battle, even with just 4 people. Afterward, there's a little fire eagle. Or fire chick, I guess. Or fire chick, I suppose. It's taking a liking to him. Oh, it's actually a fire chicken. Let's keep him. It's always nice to have an extra ally. Probably could set fires whenever needed. It even counts as actually finishing it. How long? 20 days. That's it, I'm sending them back. Can we make it? No, we can't. At the very least, let's gather there. Well, let's reclaim it then. More Wokens. No terrain defenses either. Jorver is getting set to be Jorver is going to be a legacy hero at the end of this. There's no question about that. I'm gonna keep my units small together just so they can keep the defense bonus. I love the tree warrior setup, but I feel I could do better if I had a second ranger. Even more bows? Really? You're not mocking me, game. Now let's recruit our next member. Sure, Elonbera the Bookish Loner. Nice to have fresh blood here. I keep calling them archers or rangers, but really they're hunters. Sorry about that. Now while all this goes on, let's build a bridge. There's still a lot of the world left. Archery. I was waiting for ranged counters. Let's let all four of them go over there and then I can get that back. And let the rest of the team take care of it. I'm taking a bit of a risk here because I don't have any ranged units. Everyone seems a bit too happy. Could be that clockwork tower. So that's the trade-off. And it was already implied during the first campaign that the Mordecai powered my life essence. Let's be nicer here. Oh, that's it. Now we can build a station here for more resources. That was easy. As Elmwine and Nicholas make their way through the underground labyrinth, the drumbeat grows stronger and more insistent and stronger. The drums beat in Nicholas's blood, they beat in his brain. The shadows dance in time to the music, and beneath the rhythm, a voice whispers, entices, draws Nicholas deeper. You lost your entire family, Nicholas. That is not a reason to be not trusted. Does she have a water spear or a regular spear? Let's get her a fire spear then. So damage up to three nearby enemies. Which for now we can see its effect. I guess it's okay, but I'm not sure if it scales. Water fungus, that's concerning. No, Nicholas, I wanted someone else. Oh, this is not going well. I didn't expect to get that. I have to take a large hit here. Well, this is going in not the best. Shackle, the toughest monster. Really? 2 attacks? Ah, thank goodness this hit. Now I'll slowly batter down this enemy. Really, in this campaign, mystics are not pulling their weight that well. I think this entire excursion is going to result in disaster. I should have not brought this small group, but I didn't expect to get this giant monster. I don't think Elmine will be able to survive this, but who knows, we may get a miracle. This is it, the last one. If I miss this, I'm dead. And she didn't miss it. Good job, Elwine. You somewhat pulled through, even though we lost 2 of our heroes here. If this wasn't an Iron Man run, I would have loaded up a save. Well, she is a warrior after all. And warriors seem to have pretty good scaling. The problem was I didn't have any rangers. And unfortunately, it feels like mystics are... unless they have the ability to create terrain, they're really specialized. To clarify that statement, Jaden, no characters died, it's just that he got maimed again. If he's forced to retreat again in this chapter, he will die. Now let's take this back. Then I'll launch my attacks over here. This is chapter 3, Mr. Lee. So let's see, 2 rangers, 2 warriors, and 1 mystic. That seems like a good team. I'm not sending anyone into here. And I have to clear this out too. Unfortunately, the more times I face off against foes, the stronger they'll get. Because of that, it's actually more optimal to avoid most monster encounters on harder difficulty settings, and just go directly for the final bosses. I do love this strat though. It's kinda nicer than Fire Emblem in that regard, Jaden. This game does have permadeath. If your character falls twice in the same chapter, or they fall more than 3 times during an entire campaign, they will die. Of course, you also have the option for them to go out fighting, but I decided not to because I need as many people as I can get. And of course, the game's options get a lot less nice when I go to the higher difficulty settings. Oh no, she's caught. And it didn't go for her. I sometimes question the tactical decisions the AI does in this game. See you next week, Mr. Lee. Might as well scout with my other heroes. And patrol with the rest of our heroes. Remember, most of these enemy bonuses and upgrades will stack for the next chapters. Let's go for the next assault. Then I'll assault this. Then I'll assault this and this. Oh goody, a lot of crows. Oh, neat. Let's take the risk. Alright, he's turned into a crow man. Let's take a look at his stats. Where is he? Okay, his aspects. Well, okay then, that wasn't too bad. And I just noticed, of all the people, Drover can set fires anywhere. Will it take some damage? Nope. There are more enemies on the left side, so let's rush there. That's not who I wanted to rush forward with. They're on both sides. Let waste some time. Meanwhile, over here, let's guard him. Nice one. Now does the AP stack for the next turn? I don't think so. Alright, Zark, finish the job. Well, seems like one of our base heroes will retire at the end of this chapter. Zark it is. Hopefully he can send off his gear to a convoy or something. And on second thought, let's send these two over here. Alright team, let's finish this battle. Please don't get ambushed. Oh, thank goodness. I'll take care of this in the next chapter. I don't want to risk enemies powering up even further, and their retreat is left to the next incursion. Or not, I have to do this. The incursion is happening right over there then. Great, they were too far away and there is the river. So now we're gonna take some extra time and power up the enemies once more than what I wanted. At least my mystics are more useful here, because of all the terrain. That's scary. I was trying to click on him. Sometimes I wish this game was a bit more precise with its clicking. There are several misclicks like this which happened already. They do sound more notable than the music. I still don't get why they're going for my archer. Well, she has a low amount of HP, so I guess that's why. More misclicks. Hopefully this is fixed in the final version. That's one of the more annoying aspects of the game. Before anything else happens, I need to get better at my tactical decisions on the overworld. If the overworld campaign's difficulty was on hard mode, as I repeatedly said throughout this campaign, I probably would have lost by now. Only with -1 speed, but based off the comic art, it felt like 50% less speed. Wow, what is it with your crit rate, Jover? Not the best spot, I need to rush in. Until we can get a Firestar skill, our mystics are really just, outside of using the force movement skill, they're not pulling their weight at all. Compared to my previous campaign where mystics were so much more useful. Oh no, I forgot he's out of it. That's it, back up. If that incursion didn't happen, I could have finished this chapter by now. Does the amount of experience increase as the number of monsters you deal with increases? Alonbera climbs carefully into the hole while the others watch on. And she finds a whole pack of books. And she finds a library. I was hoping I'd have that at the start of chapter 4. Meanwhile, the rest of you can finish the job. .94% chance of working, so we'll get it. We saw a similar scenario, hilarious enough, with Zark's party too. This is it, the final battle of Chapter 3, Dagon's Spire. At least 9 enemies. At least we didn't have that Gore Lord to worry about. Oh well, there's the Gore Lord. 7 to 9 damage. That'll basically one-shot Jorver, Herwin, and pretty much all my ranged units. That'd been awesome if it worked. I'm always happy when these medium chances work out in my favor. And turning in this game is very effective, thanks to the walling feature. Seriously, Jorver is like the ranged Myrmidon of this game. What is his stunt rate anyways? 26%. It's actually lower than Elmwyn, but for some reason he seems to be pulling off more consistently. Feels more consistently at least. Yeah, it's gonna fall right now. GG, Sky Singer. You tried your best even with a Gorelord, but it didn't turn on your favor. You're too spread out. And now Zark gets his own pet. And thus ends Chapter 3. The longest chapter so far, but as I said, if I hadn't screwed up on the Overland map campaign, 2 of those incursions would not have been so disastrous for me. It took 2 years to complete this. It should make it a bit easier, but Chapter 5 is going to be a pain at this point. Elmwyn planted a tree for each life she had not been able to save. Jorver was seen sometimes in the company of a black feathered creature. They would disappear for hours or days, and Jorver would always return with a haunted look in his bright eyes. Zark finally translated Curzon the Haggard's secret notes into aerodynamics of axe-head shapes. Jorver and his fire chicken found themselves unsuited to a life of farming, but ideally positioned to ease the burden of an aging blacksmith. Now that the job wasn't quite as dangerous, the Lonbara became a guide to travelers crossing the more treacherous stretches of swamp and mountain. The first harvest from the fields around Grufford Vanes was a little off. The heads of wheat almost looked like feathers, and the flour had a bitter taste. Peria founded a school for aspiring warriors. He paid special attention to young wretches who would have otherwise fallen through the cracks of the world. And thus, Perio has retired. Jorver's son has joined the party. Good to know, Jorver's awesome. He was the MVP of this chapter. Because I know some of these other people are going to retire, for example, Herwin and Nicholas, I'm not going to really upgrade their gear. Instead, I'll focus on the new ones. I'm also sad to see Elmwyn will retire soon. Well, you're gonna have to be my new spearman. I think this is good enough for now. So now Zark is the de facto leader, it seems. Even more monsters, great. Now we have to explore the southern part of the world. But I'll cover the rest of this campaign in next week's stream. Let's hope this ends in success. I'm worried of how many monsters are now in the monster decks. Nevertheless, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!